All right, my friends, so we have been testing the Insta360 ONE R over the past few days with some really good positive results, I think. Been very happy with the results from the footage that's been coming out of this camera, both in regards to the 360 footage, as well as the 4K footage that comes out of the 4K mod. But as you can see here, hopefully you can see here, right here, we are going to do a test today. And we're going to put the Insta360 ONE R 4K mod, so that's this fella right here, up against the GoPro Hero 7. Now I don't have an 8, so I'm putting it up against the 7. So that's it there. And really, if you look at the price of the GoPro Hero, and we'll say 8, the 8 comes in when it's not on sale, somewhere in around the $400 mark, US. And the Insta360 ONE R, which includes the 4K mod and the 360 mod, so you actually almost get like 2 cameras in one, comes in just slightly higher at $479. So today what we're going to do is put the GoPro Hero 7 again, up against the 4K mod of the Insta360 and just see if we think the footage is comparable, how the stabilization is, what it's like to work on the footage. And that's coming up. All right, guys, so before we go out, a few of the things to just kind of realize, just as some additional information that you guys may want to know. If you look at this setup here, for instance, my 2 cameras right here. So this is the Hero 7 Black, and this is the Insta360 ONE R. This is everything outside of the 360 mod that comes in the package. So it does come with a little case. It does come with the brain, the battery, the 4K camera, and the 360 camera. On this side, we have changed it up a little bit. And the reason for that is I have a different case on here. But I want you guys to kind of be aware, because we're testing just the internal mics here. But if you guys were looking at possibly using this as a vlogging setup, one of the things that you need to be aware is possibly some of the additional costs that the GoPro may have. Now, both of them will have an additional cost. So if you look at the GoPro Hero 7 or 8 or even 6 or any of the previous ones, the microphone needs one of the GoPro adapters. So it's a USB-C to 3.5 millimeter or 1/8 inch. Now this adapter here, which is sitting inside this case right here, usually runs anywhere Canadian from about $80 up. And I've seen it now as high as over $100. So that's a big add-on to the price of this. Plus, you kind of require that you get a case to be able to hold on to this adapter, because if not, that adapter is big and heavy. For one, it's going to be causing unnecessary strain on the USB-C port, as well as because that cable is not necessarily going to be supported, we may see that cable come loose and now you get no audio. So you're looking at, like I said, anywhere from about $80 to $100 Canadian for the adapter, and a case like this, anywhere from $20 to $40. You have added anywhere from $100 to $140 worth of add-ons to the GoPro if you're going to want to utilize an external mic. Now, we're not going to be testing external mic sound. We will be doing a follow-up video down the road where we do a moto vlogging test, and we will be testing the microphones for those. In regards to the Insta360, one of the things is it does use, again, an adapter, but it's just a tiny little USB-C to mic adapter, which only retails for about $10 US. So a way better bargain. It's a fraction of the cost of the GoPros. You can get a different case that allows you to have a cold shoe up here, which you'll see the GoPro one does. And that's probably going to run you very similar in price. I've seen them as little as around $20, but can go up to $30 and $40. The big savings here is going to be the fact that the adapter is more expensive on the GoPro. Big savings on the Insta360 with that $10 adapter. That's huge for those of us that want to use this to record better audio and maybe do some vlogging with it. In regards to what comes in the package, If you guys look back, I did do an Insta360 ONE R unboxing. Now, one of the things that I do like about the Insta360 ONE R was the kit that I bought. And you can find these on the Insta360 ONE R site on occasion if you watch for them. Came with a free mountain biking kit. Now that mountain biking kit came with all kinds of extra adapters. Chest adapters, handlebar adapters, helmet adapters, extension arms, all kinds of stuff. All free of charge, nice little throw in. Those from GoPro would probably cost you who knows how much money. Standard out of the box, if you were not to get it with a kit or a free throw-in like I did, the adapters that come in both the GoPro and the Insta360 are fairly minimal. They don't give you a lot, kind of enough just to get you started. Both of them come with a single battery, but the big bonus of the Insta360 ONE R is that with the Twin Edition, you do get the 2 lenses and the system is fairly modular, which means that as Insta360 possibly releases new cameras or a new brain or different batteries, we'll be able to expand off this base. Let's go out and shoot. All right, my friends, so we're just going to go for a quick little walk up the street. Nothing too exciting, but hopefully enough so you guys can see the difference or the similarities of the quality between these. It's bright out. So we'll walk one way up here so you can see the lighting. And one of the biggest perks, really right off the start, is the fact that the Insta360 has that nice screen that you can fire forward. It's not a big screen by any means, but it's a screen, so you can make sure that you're framed properly. Whereas a GoPro has a screen, but it really only tells you things like if it's actually recording. Now that's good, don't get me wrong, but it just doesn't give you that comfort level that says that you actually got everything framed the way that it should be framed, where the Insta360 definitely has all that, which is super nice. Now the other thing that will kind of show you once we get into the editing side is a lot more flexibility that the 360 has in that aspect. So, oh, it's so warm out today. Holy moly, that sun's right in the eyes. When you set up the GoPro, you kind of have to tell it. Now I have the GoPro set up as wide, not ultra wide, because I find the ultra wide makes it so that it's a little distorted. Great for motorcycle riding, great for a point of view, first person stuff. You want that width and you don't have a person in the center. But the bonus of the Insta360 is that you get to choose all that information later. So you can actually tell it during the editing phase when you actually have the Insta360 ONE R software, so the desktop software or the actual mobile app. You get the choice to say what field of view it has. Do you want it in a point of view? Do you want it in a super wide? Do you want it in a standard wide? So you got more flexibility in that aspect. Again, as long as the quality is there. If the quality is not there, then we suffer. So you guys get a little bit of a chance to see some of the quality. Again, GoPro is going to be on your right, Insta360 on your left, and a little bit of difference in lighting. It's a little bit darker here now. You see the 2 in there, see if it does anything with the footage. And we're going to go upstairs and see what it's like to work with this video, because that may be a big thing too. If you have an underpowered computer, or you just don't have the time to be able to go through all those extra editing processes that you kind of need to with the Insta360. GoPro really allows you to just take the footage and dump it into your editor. The Insta360 has to go through their app first to get all the cool toys, bells and whistles. So we're gonna go in and see what the editing's like. All right. All right, my friends, well, we are back in the house as of now. It's warm outside. We just did a short walk. We didn't want this video to be crazy long. It's really just about a quick test on things like the stability out of these cameras and, of course, image quality, both with their internal mics and the video quality itself. Plus, little things like ease of use when it comes to getting the video ready for editing. First off, here's the GoPro. Right here. So again, the GoPro Hero 7. I've got it out of its case. It is sitting nice, pretty, doing its thing. And I've got the card out and in my computer here. It's here, top right hand corner. Nice and simply, as long as I've set the settings up to use the GoPro, I've got it in the frame rate, resolution, and which width I want. All I have to do is go in. I'm going to use Final Cut, but you could probably use whatever editor you're going to use. And we're setting up a new project, just a 4K standard 24 frames. Okay, nice and ready to go. And we'll just hit the import button, and there's the card. There's the footage, and I can import it. Now for me, I would usually optimize the media, but that's not a step that we would have to take. I also like to do some analyzing, let the computer work on that while I go do something else. But for the purpose of today's video, we don't need to. There it is, 320, hit the import button right off the SD card, and you can see it's importing right here. Literally within probably a minute, we're good to go. This will be finished probably right away here. Now, while that's finishing, let's talk about the Insta360 ONE R footage. Now, 360 footage from this camera is going to go through pretty much the same process that we're going to have to do for the 4K footage. But do realize that the 360 footage does take considerably longer to go through any kind of processing because it's dealing just with so much information. And this is finished. We can see this is finished. I can hit eject here, and that footage is in the timeline ready to go. Pretty much no different than any other video camera you and I are going to use. I'm going to eject the card, and this is really in regards to some of the things I said before. The flexibility that comes with the Insta360 ONE R camera also comes with some extra time involved. So I'm going to quit Final Cut here, and I'm going to take this SD card. We're going to pop it in my computer, and once that comes up, one of the things that we can't do is move this straight into Final Cut. So we have to kind of do some pre-processing. So the card shows up, and what we're going to do is open up this Insta360 Studio 2020. There it is there, nice. We're going to open up our card, take our footage, which should be the very last one here. I believe it's this guy right here. And all we do is drag it here. And there it is, there's the footage. Now I'm going to stop this because it will just kind of autoplay through it. Here's a few things that really differ versus the GoPro. First off, we have flow state. So do we want to do the stabilizing? So yeah, of course we want to stabilize. This is something nice with the GoPro is that it does it while it's recording, whereas you and I need to kind of do it after the recording phase. Is that a big deal? Not necessarily, but it can be for some. The other one here is you'll see true audio. Now this audio allows us to run a process on the footage. So we can do vocal enhancement, which really tries to take away all the sound except for voice. We can do a background noise reduction, which tries to take out, just like it says, all that noise that's kind of out in the background to help focus the audio where it should. And these actually are surprisingly good. You and I right now, we're not going to use either of those because we want a real life sound representation. And inside here, you'll even see something called play rate. And this allows you to say the speed. Do you want it to be exported so that it plays at half speed? Do you want to export it to play twice as fast? All kinds of cool features. And this could be for doing things like hyperlapse. Last section you'll see here, and it's probably the best feature with this, is the ability to change the field of view. So you'll have a point of view plus, ultra wide, wider, linear, narrow. So if you look at the footage on the screen here and I go to point of view plus, you'll see that extra width. Wasn't big, but it's enough that you'll see it kind of squish out a little bit. Here's the ultra wide, like that, wide, linear. So linear should take away most of that little angling on the side there, right? Everything looks fairly straight. Kind of come back to the beginning. Yeah, all the angles look nice and straight, which is great. You don't get that kind of fisheye warped GoPro look. And narrow. So you get a nice narrow field of view. So it punches in even more. We're going to go back to wide, and we're going to export this. All right, guys, so you've seen the footage already because I'm doing stuff kind of mixed in time. We started the video, We went outside and did the walk. I then came in and did all the exporting. But now the question is, you've seen the footage. I've seen the footage. What do you think? Which would you go with? If you look at pricing, they're actually really close to each other. I think if you are looking at something that's going to give you really good stabilization, really good audio, no mess, no fuss, no extra work, then the GoPro really is the way to go. But if you're looking at a one-time purchase, that it may be a little bit more out of the gate, but you want as much flexibility and customization and options and even a bit of possible future proofing, then I have to say the Insta360 ONE R is probably a better purchase. What are your thoughts? What do you think? If you had $500 right now, US, which would you buy? The Insta360 ONE R or the GoPro Hero? Leave comments down below. I'm very curious to see which one you prefer. All right, my friends, I'm going to leave you there. I am going to put links down to these cameras below. If you feel like picking one of these up, buying through our links always helps, supports the channel, helps us get more stuff for you guys so we can test it and make these videos. All right, my friends, I'm going to leave you there. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. And we will be doing, as I stated earlier, a moto vlogging test. We've got all the mic adapters now. We're going to put a couple cameras up against each other. Different budgets. See which one does it for you. All right, guys. Later.